The outermost of the terrestrial planets is the planet Mars, named for the Roman god of war. From Earth, Mars appears as a bright reddish-orange star. Perhaps early observers were reminded of war's bloodshed. Mars has two very small moons, Phobos and Deimos, Greek for pain and terror. Phobos, pictured here, orbits so close to the planet that it completes a revolution in less than 8 hours. Tidal forces are bringing this moon ever closer, and in the future it will slam into the surface, giving Mars a new crater. Phobos is only 22 kilometers in diameter. Deimos, shown here, is even smaller. Both moons are possibly stray asteroids captured from the asteroid belt. The color of Mars comes from iron oxide, or rust, present in its sands. It has an atmosphere, as seen in this orbital photograph. Mars is mostly a dry, frozen desert. Mars has a north and south polar cap, which grow and shrink with the seasons. Unlike Earth's polar cap of water ice, these polar caps are largely made of frozen carbon dioxide, or dry ice. Mars has some extreme features. This is Olympus Mons, the largest volcano in the solar system. It's several times higher than Mount Everest on Earth, and it would cover much of the state of Texas. This is Valles Marineris, a gigantic rift canyon. It's many times deeper than the Grand Canyon on Earth, and could stretch nearly across the United States. Mars is a small planet. Even with a large telescope, it is difficult to discern tiny surface features. American astronomer Percival Lowell thought he saw a crisscrossing network of straight-line features. An Italian astronomer had called these straight lines canali, which means channels. Lowell mistranslated the term as canals. The public's imagination went wild. Some people envisioned a drought-stricken civilization desperately trying to bring water from the poles of Mars to its dying cities. Fiction of the time, such as H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, grew out of this idea. When the spacecraft Viking touched down on the surface of Mars in 1974, many people were disappointed. There were no canals. This place looked as dry and lifeless as our own moon. But then this orbital photograph revealed a strange surface feature. Was this a face carved onto the surface of Mars? What was it trying to tell us? Nothing, apparently. This is the same area on Mars, photographed more recently at a different time of day and with a much higher resolution camera. The face was nothing more than our imagination at work. In 1984, a meteorite was found in Antarctica. It turned out to have come from Mars. In the 1990s, a team of scientists examined the meteorite closely and found a surprise. The meteorite contains what appear to be tiny fossilized organisms. Scientists continue to debate this finding today, but the discovery has fueled a new wave of Mars exploration. We have been using a variety of orbiting spacecraft and surface rovers to expand our knowledge of Mars. The question remains open as to whether Mars ever had, or possibly still has, any form of life. Mars does show evidence that it was once a much warmer and wetter place than the one we find today. Many geologists interpret these features as dried riverbeds on the surface of Mars. Erosional features like these seem to indicate that vast floods once occurred in Mars' distant past. Today, Mars shows an enormous range of unusual surface features, such as these windswept dunes, or these strange mineral deposits. Many of these landscapes are poorly understood. There's much about Mars that we don't understand. It is a place of strange beauty. This is a view of Victoria Crater, taken from orbit. And this is Victoria Crater as it appears from the surface. One of the rovers took this shot as it prepared to climb down into the crater. We continue to explore Mars with our machines, but someday humans will want and need to come to Mars themselves. Perhaps those first explorers will be Americans. Perhaps they will be from another country. It is likely it will be an effort by many nations working together. At some point, we will go beyond merely exploring and begin colonizing this new world. At first, all of our food and oxygen will have to be created inside of dome structures, shielded from the Martian environment. We may choose to begin the process of terraforming on Mars, which means remaking Mars gradually into a more Earth-like environment. After many years of terraforming on Mars, the type of spacesuit required for being outside might be much less than the sort of suit astronauts would wear today. Gradually, after many centuries, Mars could be given a richer, thicker atmosphere. Liquid water could be brought back to the surface, and new plant strains that could thrive in the new Martian environment could be developed. Could this be the Mars of the future? It could be. The decision lies with us. A Russian scientist, Konstantin Tsiolkovsky, once said, "The Earth is the cradle of humanity, but mankind cannot stay in the cradle forever."